Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Another horrible trip to Cairo. I mean, it was good and it was bad, but it had the same bad elements that make me not like and get that same feeling that I've always had toward big cities and my preference for, quieter places like the rural areas or maybe the suburbs, stuff like that. I went to Cairo on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March. Um, First of all, my phone was not working with Vodafone. It was because, and I'm just if you end up going to Cairo or Alexandria or any place in Egypt or overseas, know that you really should sign up, give them your passport or whatever it is, so that they can write down your name. And it's best, I think, to buy it from the actual company because I bought it from just some random guy on the street who was selling phones and other stuff. I mean, he had a shop. It was a legitimate place, but he didn't end up recording my things because I should have gone back to him, and it was my fault really. I didn't go back to him, so my phone just stopped working because there was no data with anyone's information on it. Now, I was going to Cairo like the next day. My friend was coming in from out of town. I hadn't seen him in maybe a year, coming in from the U.S. And so there was no way to get in touch and stuff like that. So I was getting really worried. Um, so I just had a few errands to run, but it took me literally until maybe like 7 p.m. to get everything done, to get very simple things done that in the US maybe half an hour or an hour, or you could maybe even do it on the phone and get it done even quicker. First thing was I was planning on going to the mall before my classes, and so I went there at 9 a.m. and then they said it was going to open at 11 a.m. and that's when my first class started, so I couldn't really go there. So things opened later, and I think I've noticed is that just um, the whole lifestyle here it makes it very hard to get little things done, or maybe it's just me being lazy, and I think that makes the people less likely to do those other things. I mean, even if we look at history and stuff like that, we see that when empires and when are very wealthy and very powerful, then the arts start to flourish, literature starts to flourish. You see those paintings, you see those novels, you see different things like that. And I think it's the same thing here. When someone's just worried about the basic necessities, and it takes so long and things are so much harder, they're not worried about art or big picture ideas. Um, I had to ride a taxi. I'm very happy that my new place, I'm just not riding taxis because I hate riding taxis. Um, Always had a car. First time I rode it was in DC, and still I do not like riding taxis. There's cheaters just about every place, and a lot more so, I think, from my personal experience in Cairo. Though I have to admit, after this one story, there were like two or three very nice guys who were very respectable um, and respectful uh, towards me. First guy I rode with, he was an old guy, and he wanted to stop for some bread. I'm sorry, this is still in Alex. So he wanted to stop for some bread. He's like, "Can I stop for some bread?" And I said, "No, I'm in a hurry." I've had people stop for water to fix their wheels. I had one guy stop to go to the bathroom, and I'm just sitting there in his car, and I'm like, I could just walk out right now and catch another cab, leave him a few pounds here on the seat. But I just felt like it would be very mean to do that. Even though I think thinking back, I should have done that or been like, "Where are you going? I'm not gonna wait here." Um, Microbuses have this habit I've noticed, like after a certain point next to the university, once they get it all filled up, they'll go to the gas because and we'll all just be waiting as they fill up gas because they know that the customers are going to stay there because those are the very long routes. Uh, so it's very interesting. It's kind of like the customer doesn't come first. A lot of times when you might complain for something, people just be like, "So, what are you going to do about it?" It's not like the U.S. It's not like that movement, consumer movement, that Spencer Abraham, the representative, had a very large role in, and so and Consumer Reports and the creation of all of that stuff. So I think that maybe we're on the brink of a movement, or maybe not, because I don't see anybody really caring about that stuff. But the people are changing, and they are thinking differently than the government in the present situation. Even when I just talked to college students, you'd be surprised at how similar a lot of them think, like we do. They think very similarly to how we do. Uh, when I did go to Cairo at the train station, the Ramses train station, I was asking, I was like, I'm not gonna ride with anybody unless they have a haddad, which is I don't actually know how to say it in English, but it's the timer thing for the taxis that counts up how many how many kilometers you travel or how much time you take. Uh, so I wrote in one of those because I was like, that's the safe way. They got them. It's new in Cairo. Well, I'm gonna advise everybody: do not ride in those. Just agree with them on a price from the beginning, and just go that way. And it's so much more comfortable. You don't have to get in a fight. Nothing. This guy took me all the way to the airport, and I was supposed to go to I don't remember what it's called now. City Star Center. I don't know, some big touristy place for foreigners and rich Egyptians and Gulf people. That at least that's what I saw over there, because my friend was staying there. A very nice hotel, by the way. The Continental, very nice. But I would never go there myself if I were paying. So takes me to the airport because I was like, I think it may be close to the airport. And he asks for directions, and the guy looks at him and gives him this look like, "What?" He's like, "You're a taxi driver. You know this place. It's very famous. Why did you take him here?" So after we get back, I got out of the car, and the Haddad said like 45, and I was like, "Here's 30, and I'm not paying you anymore because you know you took me to the airport by trying to cheat me." And he's like, "No," and he had my bag because I put it in the trunk, and he's like, "I'm not letting you go," and I was like, "Give me my bag." And I hate yelling, I hate raising my voice, but I had to do it in that situation. And I just, I made a big scene and stuff like that, and people started looking. And after he gave me my bag, because we agreed to 5 over the dead, whatever that said, and I was like, "I'm not giving you more. It says 45, and you're a cheater. You're a cheater." And I just kept yelling it out in Egyptian, and I was like, "You're a cheater. You're a cheater." And I hoped that people around me saw that so that they wouldn't ride with that cheater. But many of them are cheaters, so it was a very bad situation. I know I was feeling kind of not too happy for like an hour. But then I saw my friend and I was like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, and there'll be better people to come, and better people did come, better taxi drivers. So I was happy about that. The hotel was very nice, very nice. I mean, just very nice, 5-star hotel, whatever that means, because stars don't mean anything really here. But I was spoiled, which is not good. It was like the last time I went to Cairo and I stayed in a very nice hotel with a friend. When you get back to your apartment, you need like a little bit of time to adjust and then get used to everything. And I hadn't moved in yet. I moved in on that Saturday. It was, I think, the 7th of March. Yeah, the 7th of March. Uh, but it was good. Um, Found a new place. It's in Bir Masoud. We'll talk about that in the next post. But I want to say something very scary. Remember, I talked about jumping off the train and jumping off the tram or jumping on, and how it's not a very good idea and very dangerous. Well, unfortunately, I had to do it, and I had a huge bag on my back and one in my arm because we get to Sidi Gabir, uh, and there's a big line, and I was right in front of the door, but my bag was a little bit behind, so I couldn't get it. And I was like, whatever, usually the train waits for like 10 or 5 or 10 minutes, and that's enough time. Well, it started to move, and there was still a line of like 10 or 15 more people. So I was like, oh no, because I've never been to Mahatat Masr, except from, actually, I did go there once with a field trip. Uh, but I didn't want to ride a microbus all the way from there. So I just pushed people out of the way. Sometimes, and I've noticed this too, like in my new place, there's always crowds of people, and I don't like pushing people, I like line and organization. But sometimes, sorry, you just have to because you don't want to wait for an hour just to get on a microbus home. So I was like, sorry everybody, I have to go. So I just pushed people. I took my bag, and the guy on the train, he's like, you can't jump off. And he was like, look straight or look left or right. I don't even remember. I just ignored him. I jumped off. I almost tripped and fell. It was very dangerous, and I hope I never have to do that again in the future. I think I'm just going to wait because it's safer and smarter. And I think I hit a guy too while jumping off. I just remember him like going like that, so I don't know if I hit him or not. But yeah, that was crazy. So I hope it does not happen again. Alright, take care. Assalamu alaikum.